There are no tariffs today, and there is free trade between Mexico and the United States. I'm happy about that. I'd like to see a situation in which we celebrate, not intimidate each other as a result of that. But I would like to say I'm optimistic about the future.
You know, this is a little bit interesting and not off topic, I don't think. You just tweeted out about 20 minutes ago that every time Trump is backed into a corner, he kind of goes after somebody, maybe Mexico. The Mueller report stuff keeps kind of trickling out. Do you think the president could use or has used the trade fight as a way to get other things off the headlines, Jorge?
I suspect that is the case, Brian. Not just the trade and immigration fight. He always resorts to those two crutches, trade and immigration. Mind you, Mexico being a neighbor, one that deals a lot with the United States on trade and immigration, is a prime target for that.
If you're China and you watched what happened with U.S. and Mexico in the last week, what was your takeaway? What did you learn from the strategy in Trump's dealings with Mexico that you can use for your own benefit in Beijing?
Well, that's an important question, Brian, because I remember when I was in China, I spent 6 years there as Mexico's ambassador to China. And every time I addressed the Chinese government, there was always this assumption on their part that Mexico had a special relationship with the United States, to the point that they sometimes inferred that Mexico was acting under instructions from the United States. That, of course, was not the case. But they always realized that Mexico had a special relationship with the United States. Now, of course, they're watching Mexico, what's happening to Mexico, and they're seeing how Mexico risks being humiliated as a result of this negotiation. And that's something the Chinese leadership has got to be very concerned about. Regardless.
Why do you say that? Why? Why was Mexico stepped up immigration controls? There's no tariffs. Maybe both sides come out ahead. How was Mexico humiliated?
Well, you see the tweets this morning. He's saying that if we don't act, he'll reimpose tariffs. He's going all caps, saying that, and by the way, we have to buy a lot of ag products, which is not true, for the simple reason that Mexico is not a command economy. The government cannot commit to buying ag products because the government doesn't buy ag products. So those type of things, start running to the fact of, I didn't just reach an agreement, I vanquished my counterpart. And that's something that concerns the Chinese because maybe they don't have as much leeway domestically. And mind you, every foreign leader also has a base to deal with. And the Chinese.
But Jorge, what you know is that Mexico has more power over the United States than China does, probably economically, because there's more imports. Our supply chains actually may depend on it more than they do with China. Do we have more? Does the United States have more leverage with China?
I think that, yes, without a doubt, I think the United States has much more leverage with China than it has with Mexico. Nevertheless, the fact that the United States was willing to risk its relationship with Mexico for marginal victories has got to give pause to the Chinese leadership, because they know they're in a weaker position, and they have to be considering how much they are willing to concede in these negotiations. And no, I do not think the Chinese economy is hinging on this trade deal. This is something that clearly they want and need as much as the United States, but I don't think their economy is hinging on this trade deal. So they do have the option, as most countries do, of walking away just to save face, and face is important.